When I say the word pollution, what image comes to your mind? Is it a mound of garbage and litter on the ground? Is it oil slicks in the ocean, creating a mass of tar and inky blackness in an otherwise blue sea? Do you think of the muggy skylines, buildings, and humans alike getting choked out by toxic air, unable to even see the sun through this thick and orange sky? These are all terrible forms of pollution. Pollution that people are trying to stop and whose actions can be easily seen and replicated by others. However, not all forms of pollution can be easily seen as well as solved. One of the more prominent examples of this invisible pollution is noise pollution.
Noise pollution, often called sound pollution, is defined by Britannica as, quote, unwanted or excessive sound that can have harmful effects on the human health, wildlife, and environmental quality. It can be hard to imagine that sound would be considered as harmful as deforestation or oil spills, but with the high rate of development in urban areas, it is becoming much harder to ignore and now becomes a problem society must solve. To better handle the issue of noise pollution, it is imperative to know how noise pollution works, where it occurs, and understand why it is harmful to humans, as well as trying to figure out how to solve it. To begin, let's start by defining the spaces where noise pollution can occur. Sources of noise pollution include vehicles such as trucks, buses, planes, cars, music equipment like loud stereos, loudspeakers, megaphones, and machinery, industrial equipment, lawnmowers, vacuum cleaners, etc. In metropolitan areas, this manifests commonly as road traffic and construction. The primary worry with noise pollution is the long-term effects associated with prolonged exposure to these types of sounds. A common side effect is hearing loss, as described in an article by the EHEP. To quote directly, hearing damage can occur quickly from extreme loud noises, such as explosions, or over many years from constant exposure to loud sounds. The article also goes on to explain the major disease that comes from hearing loss, sensorineural hearing loss, which can occur when the ear is exposed to very loud noise levels, about more than 85 decibels, over a prolonged period of time. At this point, a person cannot hear the voice of someone talking at a normal level who is right next to them. This is usually not noticed until it is too late and cannot be corrected. With the rise of urbanization, noise pollution has become more of a problem than ever before. A mapping conducted by Emily Merriam and Michael Dangermond of the ArcGIS found that many of the major cities of the United States are large sources of noise pollution. The noisiest city was found to be Elizabeth, New Jersey, as it is a major container port of the New York metropolitan area, as well as being one of the busiest port cities in the eastern United States. The rest of the major cities on this ranking share similar qualities, with Inglewood, California being second, and Grapevine, Texas being in third. All of these are large in population as well as housing trade stations such as seaports or airports. Unsurprisingly, rural areas rank low on the list of noise pollution, with the top three being Poinciana CDP, Florida, Buckeye City, Arizona, and Carson City, Nevada. Understanding both the quiet and noisiest parts of the United States is fundamental in combating the spread of noise pollution, but it is equally as important to understand its effects on the human body, both mentally and physically. Many believe the effects of noise pollution to be minimal because it is an invisible issue. While noise pollution's effects on the world are unseen by the naked eye, their effect is nevertheless harmful to both the physical and mental health of people all over the world. According to a graphic released by the European Environmental Agency, about 20% of the EU population, which is about 1 in 5 people, live in areas where noise levels are considered harmful to health. The graphic also gives broad statements stemming from noise pollution, ranging from 22,000 reports of high annoyance to 48,000 reports of heart disease that come from excessive noise. Noise, quote, disturbs sleep and makes it harder to learn in school. It can also cause or aggravate many health problems, end quote. The graphic claims that the most important source of noise pollution in Europe is road traffic, but it is not just Europe that is affected by noise pollution. In a recent article by the Times of India, the neighborhood of Chennai is hit hardest by the noise caused by the construction of a metro rail nearby. There, people actively struggle with the effects of noise pollution in their neighborhood. Street vendors have resorted to cone loudspeakers to sell their products. Many residents have constant headaches and are unable to sleep due to the construction lasting all throughout the night. Chennai registered a maximum of 83.5 decibels last year against the 40 decibel to 75 decibel range prescribed by the CPCB. This is not a new problem for the area of Chennai, but the level of decibels have since gone up to a concerning level because of this new construction. Now, in residential areas, according to data collected by the article, the average decibel level is 64.16 decibels during the day and 62.16 decibels at night. This is an unhealthy and dangerous amount of noise being constantly transmitted to the people of this neighborhood. However, there is a silver lining to all of this doom and gloom. Chennai, as well as many other places around the world, are doing their part in stopping the spread of noise pollution. Noise pollution may seem like an unstoppable force in the world because it is closely tied to the rise of urbanization and the development of human society. However, many climate activists and government officials are taking steps to limit the amount of noise pollution in their respective areas. Going back to the previous example in Chennai, the local government officials there are taking action to combat the level of noise pollution in certain areas. There, they have made designated silence zones that outlaw any sound-emitting equipment or source during the night. These areas are usually around hospitals, schools, residential buildings, and government courts. Even though enforcement authorities in these silence zones make sure to keep things quiet during the night, construction continues to be a major issue with people disregarding the rules. These same zones can be replicated everywhere in the world if governments were given the proper number of resources to make these zones a reality. It can and has been replicated for marine life with the NOAA Ocean Noise Strategy Team, otherwise known as NOAA, with national marine sanctuaries built to help reduce the amount of noise in the ocean. In an interview with Dr. Leela Hatch, a marine ecologist at the Stawagan Bank National Marine Sanctuary and co-leader of NOAA, she explains that marine life's ability to use echolocation and thrive in the ocean is affected by humans and their use of noise pollution. These sanctuaries are situated away from commercial shipping lanes as well as overwater rigs, but unfortunately still deal with private boats and companies that do not adhere to the strict guidelines of these sanctuaries. In better news, however, NOAA's efforts have been received positively internationally and are continuing to fight for these silent sanctuaries all over the world's oceans. While these wide-scale efforts are important, it is still imperative for the average person to do their part in helping stop the rise of noise pollution. The solutions are tame, comparatively, such as turning down the volume of your headphones, wearing earplugs at loud events like sports games or concerts, or riding a bike, or carpooling to places. However, these small efforts can help a person save both others as well as themselves from prolonged hearing damage and make the world just a little bit more peaceful. The pervasive issue of noise pollution presents a profound threat to both human well-being and the environment for the rest of the world. As urbanization accelerates, the cacophony of vehicles, industrial machinery, and other sources has become an inescapable part of daily life in many metropolitan areas. However, there is always an opportunity for change. One voice can start the talk about the issue, but a chorus of voices can come together to truly put an end to a problem. Noise pollution will never truly go away, like water or air pollution, but humanity can take steps to limit its spread and make both humanity and its world harmonious again. By understanding the sources, impacts, and potential solutions to noise pollution, society can work collaboratively to create a quieter, healthier, and more sustainable environment for generations to come. So, the next time you're out, take off your headphones, turn down your music, and truly listen to the world around you, if only for a moment. It's trying to tell you something, so listen. You'll be surprised by what you hear. Thank you.